Welcome back to Squawk on the Street. No consumer slowdown in sight. That's at least according to IMAX. The company forecasting a record 2025 of over $1.2 billion at the box office for the year, and writing they've seen a, quote, dramatic turnaround in China. Richard Gelfond, IMAX CEO, joins us this morning. Richard, great to have you as always. Good morning.
Good morning, Carl. Nice to see you.
Before we get to China, I am curious to get your thoughts on the North American consumer, because it's been a week of Walmart guidance and some disappointing Michigan sentiment numbers. What are you seeing?
At least for the movie business, Carl, I think it's going to be a very strong year. The first thing that drives that is the slate, and this year is really an embarrassment of riches. We haven't really hit stride in it. Captain America opened this weekend and did pretty well. It did $100 million globally, but you've got Mission Impossible coming. You've got Formula One starring Brad Pitt. You've got Avatar at the end of the year, which are the biggest movies of all time. How to Train Your Dragon, Zootopia. I mean, it's a real, I'm sure, Jurassic World. So I think that sector is going to be very strong. And, we don't have a lot of data points yet because it's early in the year, but I feel quite confident. And we're predicting a $1.2 billion box office for IMAX, which would be by far our best year ever.
Right. And we've talked a lot over the years about IMAX punching above its weight, as some analysts like to write, and you've definitely drawn attention to the strength of the slate coming up. What about China? What accounts for this turnaround that you're seeing?
So I brought you my friend, Carl, from China, flown in especially for you. This is Ne Zha. And Ne Zha is a well-known IP in China. And Ne Zha 1 did very well. But Ne Zha 2, the results are kind of crazy. So it's the first film ever that's done over $1 billion in one country. It's up to $1.6 billion in its first week. And for IMAX, we've had extremely positive results. So we're up to about $135 million, again, in less than a month. It's our biggest film in China. We've done more box office in China in the first 6 weeks of this year than we did the whole year last year. I mean, this will be one of the biggest global movies of all time. And it's kind of interesting because last year in China was somewhat of a weak year. And this year, China not only has the Hollywood slate, but it also has a number of top-tier Chinese local titles throughout the year, and that it ends with Avatar. And I have to tell you, that's unexpected. I mean, we knew it would bounce back a little bit, and we predicted that, but we had no idea the numbers would be like this. It's doing like $100 million a day, and again, to your point of punching above our weight. I mean, last night we were 13% of the box office, and our best day for the movie was 3 weeks in last Sunday. So it's a phenomenon.
Yeah, I feel like 10, 20 years ago, Richard, we were talking about the end of movie-going and the end of the box office. And then the first digitally native generation grew up and became young adults. And all of a sudden they wanted to get out of their houses and away from streaming. And I think it just raises the question, have we reached a new normal? Can we say we're at a new normal in terms of what the box office looks like and what it takes to attract people there? Case in point, the fact that an IMAX screening of a movie might be more compelling than just going to a plain old movie screening?
Yeah, so Megan, I think the end of your question enlightens it, which is, I think although the box office is coming back strong, the composition is a little bit different. So there's a bias towards original content, like last year, Oppenheimer, good to talk about around Oscar time. Dune, as I said, this year we're doing Formula One. It's kind of new IP, and there's also been a movement towards premium content, and obviously IMAX is on the top of the food chain, so our global market share has been increasing significantly over the last couple of years. So I think the point is we're at a new normal, but with a slightly different mix in terms of the kinds of content and the way consumers want to see it, and that's still evolving.
Well, we're going to definitely stay close to you if we can as we approach Memorial Day and get into summer and see how some of this slate hits the screens. Richard, have a great weekend. It's good to see you as always.
Thank you, Carl. See you soon.
Richard Gelfand.